Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Nasdaq Futures ICT Weekly Outlook 2026, episode 4. For this week, as always, we start off with using Forex Factory to plan out our trading week. This week's going to be very light. I will only be looking at Monday through Wednesday, being that is the last week of the year, the last trading week of the year. I don't expect too much to be happening. There is no big earnings report. This isn't the actual FOMC that brings the volatility. This is a regular FOMC meetings minute. So even though this does say FOMC meeting minutes, it is not the actual Fed interest rate that is going to be released. So this can be avoided and the AM session can still be traded on that day. For Monday, we have news at 10 a.m. New York local time. It is an orange folder, so I would be waiting for the minimum, the 942 macro, to look for any entries. On Tuesday, like I said, that is not a interest rate announcement. It's just a regular FOMC meeting minutes, which is different than the actual interest rate. So same thing goes for here. Wait for the 930 open and at least the 942 macro to take any entries. On Wednesday, we have unemployment claims at 8:30 New York local time. This day is a great day, in my opinion, to be looking at the market. Probably see the best setups for the week. On that day, I will be waiting for, again, the 930 open to the 942 macro to present an entry. If I see something before that, it's got to be really good. Again, it's the last trading week of the year, so I'm going to be only aiming for base hits, nothing too crazy. I'm not trying to aim for 100-point expansions. If it does happen, it'll be very obvious on Monday and Tuesday if it's going to be a trending week. On Thursday, we have a bank holiday, so that is not a day that we look at. And Friday, there's no news, and it's the day after a bank holiday, which normally call it a week after Wednesday's New York AM session, and just wait for the following week. The following week, we have an NFP week, and we have plenty of red folders where we can see some expansion, and the year can be off to a great start. All right, with that being said, let's hop into the charts. Here I have the daily chart for the Nasdaq March contract. And as you can see, the targets that I was aiming for last week was that previous weekly high. We ended up taking that and going past that. We didn't quite reach that daily SIBI yet, but that is still the overall draw that I expect December to reach. These highs, all these highs here are way too clean and are gonna get tagged eventually. Whether it wants to take previous monthly high and all-time high in this last week, I don't think that's likely, but it's not impossible. This daily SIBI here, once we reach that expansion there, I expect some sort of resistance to happen in this area. So we do have this daily volume imbalance here that has not been traded into, and that could be a first target. Once we close above this volume imbalance, it's very, very likely that this daily SIBI is going to get reached. Now, the invalidation on the daily time frame for me is daily BISI here that we see on the daily time frame. We have traded into it here on this candle, and we expanded away from it already. I consider that an IOFED, that's ICT Institutional Order Flow Entry Drill, meaning that you should expect this remaining part of this fair value gap to remain open until it's going to reach its draw on liquidity, which in my opinion is higher on this daily SIBI that we have here. This volume imbalance needs to get traded into. We have the SIBI. We already have the IOFED here. But if it does trade back into it, that is okay. It's still valid until we close below this daily buy side imbalance and sell side inefficiency. That's what they call it, a BISI. Until that BISI is traded below and invalidated, I expect every retracement to just be a retracement to continue higher. All right, now when we break it down to the 1 hour time frame and we take a closer look at what happened for last week's delivery, we can see that Tuesday created a SMT with ES and YM here, which is what created that BISI. As you can see here, this is what this orange line is. And in last week's outlook, I said once we close above this candle, that I would expect price to continue higher. And the week opened and immediately closed above that candle. So literally every retracement after that was a fractal market maker buy model forming to just continue higher. We got extremely close to the 26,000 area, which is a big figure, which is for sure something that we should be paying attention to. And here we have this point of interest and these point of interest that I'm looking to pay attention to. And the specific reason for this one is that on the 4 hour and the 1 hour, there is a fair value gap here. We have these fair value gaps here, consecutive ones here, and then we have this one here. But just to avoid having different fair value gaps in one chart like that, because if we go to the 4 hour, we can see that there's a busy here and a very small one here. So I just have that whole range as my point of interest where price can come back into to trade into this, form some sort of SMT to then continue higher. The moment we close above this highlighted range here, which again, same concept. Here we have a SIBI that was formed on December 25th at 4 a.m. New York local time. We traded into it, used it to expand lower. Once we get above this area here, that is a market structure shift pattern, and it should be used as support to continue higher into the SIBI. So again, just to give an example of what could happen for this week. Come inside of here, force majeure order for SMT with ES or YM to trade higher, trade above, to go into that SIBI. Any one of these expansions can be used as a fractal market maker buy model in order for you to enter price action. Take 1 to 2 trades this week and call it a week. Good luck and good trading. And here we are inside of the Market Maker School private Discord, where I notified everyone of that same POI that I just showed you guys in the outlook, where I said, as long as we stay above this was the target. And as you guys can see, in hindsight, that we definitely hit those. As you can see, I'm telling everyone that even in December, we can find consistency.